Sunday morning POTA, Cedar Hill State Park. We're still getting set up here. The red light is on and the timer is counting down, which means we are recording. I came out yesterday morning, Saturday, probably around 9 o'clock. But for some reason it was just too humid out here. By 10 o'clock I was already sweating. And then I forgot that I was supposed to meet my daughter for lunch because she was taking me out for my birthday, which was Friday. So when she called, I had probably 8 contacts. So I went ahead and made a few more. Wound up with about 14, and I went ahead and left. Again, it was really humid. I was sweating. So I came out a little earlier this morning. And hopefully it won't be so bad. I'm running the LDG 9-to-1 unun. It's going up to a tree, and the MFJ mast is just leaning up against it. So I'm not tying anything up in the tree, not breaking any branches or anything, not putting anything in the ground. I didn't bring any stakes, so I just have the LDG laying against a 5-pound weight that I keep in my car for some reason. So since I'm using a random wire, I will need to tune it and make note of where it's tuned. Got a big can of Raid. Normally there's lines and lines of ants out here, but I don't see them today, but I'm ready for them. Got my towel to keep me dry. Got one of those cheap clocks off of Amazon. And when I carry it around, I take the battery out. It makes it last longer. The trick is getting the battery back in. That means the battery's in. So what I do is I immediately set it to 24-hour time. There it is. And then I set the time. It's 9:11 Central. So you add 5. That'll make it 14:11. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I want to set this to 14:12. And it's coming up on 55, 56, 57, 58. Now it's at 12. You got to set the year on here. It's 9/16. So that gets my clock set up. It says Monday. Today is 9/15. Go down one. All right, Sunday 9/15. It shows it's 80 degrees. It's not too humid right now, so I'm not feeling any heat. And I've got that random wire, so I will have to take my nano VNA and tune it. And I keep the Baofeng on 146/520 in case there are any other hams in the park and they call out. And this is 9:15. Starting around 14:13 UTC. Let's see here. So I got the it's the MFJ 16010. It's a manual tuner. The antenna comes in where it says antenna. The out goes to the transceiver, the 891. So I put the nano VNA onto the one that says transmitter. And I set it to 20 meters. And right now you can see where that's jumping around. It's up at about 2.0 when I put it at 14,189. Let's see if I can get this on camera. So what I have to do is I have to take these knobs for inductance and capacitance, wiggle them around until I get a good SWR. So on A, I don't get a good one. I change the inductance, and then I change the capacitance. About 1.6 under L. I put it under K. It's in the high 2s. Now, once I go to J, J down in the middle is about 1.1. So I look at that and I think it's at about J5. And when you look at it on the nano VNA, the SWR is low all the way across the 20 meter band. So I just make note of that. 20 meters is at J5. Then I switch the nano VNA, and I've got presets for each one of these. I set the nano VNA to 15 meters, and you see it jumps up to 3.059. Again, I adjust the inductance and capacitance and move them around. 2.3, 2.7. Move them around again. It's down to 1.3 on the low end. If I change it to A, it's about 1.2 across the band. So if I set it at A10 for 15 meters, it's about 1.2 all the way across the band. So for 15 meters, I will go A10. And then I'll set my preset again to 10 meters. It's already at 1.7. I'll adjust my inductance some, and it goes down. It goes down to 1.1. I set the inductance. It's about A, and it's between the 7 and the 8, so I'll say A 7.5. And the inductance is, I'm sorry, the SWR is very low across the band, about a 1.1. So I'll say 10 meters is, what did I just say? I'll say 10 meters is A 7.5. So we'll say A 7.5. And I normally don't get 40 meters, but I tune it anyway just to see what it says. And 40 meters is 1.1 all the way across the band. Well, 1.2 if I leave it at A 7.5. Start 7, end 7.3, A 7.5. Now I've got a preset for 50 megahertz, which is 6 meters. That normally doesn't tune good on 6 meters on this endfed, so I don't even make note of it. For the other bands, 30, 17, and 12, I have to manually put those in my VNA. So I have to get off my presets. We're running power from the Jackery 300. I got the 300 because it has a PD, power delivery, for the USB-C. That way, if I ever want to connect my laptop, I can. I got this cigarette to, what do you call these things? The cigarette adapter coming in here. You have to hit that button to give it power. Just heard the Baofeng click. All right, we want to go to 10 meters. We hit band. Scroll down to 10 meters. Remember, on the 891, you have to check your width every time you change bands or modes. It's at 28.7. I'm going to scroll back down just to see if I hear anything. I'm not hearing anything, and the meter's not moving much. 28,400 is the calling frequency. Nothing heard. Sounds quiet. We'll go 28,300. Press and hold band to get to CW mode. And I'm not hearing that 10 meter beacon, which means the 10 meter signal is probably not propagating right now. And you know what? It would help if I plugged in the antenna. All right, the antenna is not plugged in. That's why we're not hearing anything. So let's go back to 28,300. Not hearing anything. Let's go back to sideband. Sideband, I'm going to scan back up since I plugged in the antenna. heard somebody on 320, but he just said 7.3. I always forgot. I want to check my power. Make sure my HF power is 30. That's going to be my CW. And my sideband power is 50. So I checked that one time and I'm done. So somebody was talking on 320, but they stopped. So I'll keep scanning.
Hangman Island.
Yeah, you're 025. You want to go closer?
Now they're 5.7, but they're loud and clear, so it looks like I've got a 10-meter opening. It's almost October. That's when I get good coverage on 10 meters, but it's kind of hit and miss during September.
I've never learned more about the world as far as continents and grid squares. I mean, what's so cool is I'm like, wow, I didn't even know there was 7 continents.
Now let me get my logger ready.
I never thought about it.
Check to make sure I'm still recording.
Like I said, to each his own. I'm an old CBer at heart. I just got my ticket about maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. I just come up here on 10 meters. I'm down on 11 and 10, and that's enough for me. I get it, like my buddy does that with the computer and stuff, and I mean, he had his radio for a couple of months.
It's what you call a rack chew. It will go on and on and on. If they're talking about radios, I will talk with them. It's just regular conversation. I'm not that type of talker. We have to go into Hammers. Let's see if this will record correctly. We're in Hammers, new logbook. The title is... Oops.
We had the 10 meters have been so wide open. I mean, I talked to a guy in Bolivia. I talked to a guy in Ukraine, Russia. The other day, I talked to Russia.
I wish we tango, yes.
Slovakia. I mean, that's just on an Antron 99, 85 feet in the air, bro. So that's
US-2996.
what I like to do. But that's what you like to do. That's cool. That's awesome.
Then a dash. Then the date. 2024 09/15. This is the format that the POTA site originally asked for when I read the documentation, and I just keep using it. It may have changed, it may not even be required, but I still use it. You have to select Parks on the Air here and hit save. You have to put your power in for it to log correctly. 50, put my park in. 2996. And I'm ready to go. Go down and check the POTA spots. Set it to frequency, sideband. Let's look at 10 meters. I don't want to see the QRT. There's only one on 28,385. That's what I'm on right now. It's supposed to be from Germany, but I'm not hearing it. Now I also keep a small voice recorder, and I'll hit record. I'll announce the date, which is September 15th, 2024. Sunday, it is 14:33. And I'll just sit that down, and I won't touch it again till I'm done. So that's 385. Let's see if there's anything else on 10. I started out on 10 meters when I was a technician, so I like to see if I can make some contacts on 10 meters. I could probably call CQ, but I don't want to right now. All right, not much heard there. Let's go back to 14 meters. Let's go back to sideband. Let's see, my width is changed again, so I have to change it back. 2800. There may be a way to default that, but I haven't found it. 14225. My privileges start at 14225. So I could either check the spot page or I can just scan through. And it's always fun to see someone spot up on 14230, because that's the SSTV frequency. And they'll be in the middle of a QSO and you'll hear that SSTV signal. So don't spot up on 230. 233 is the digital version of SSTV. You don't hear a lot of it, so it may be okay to use that one. And then 230 is not for SSTV only. It's just that when people send SSTV, they don't listen. They just start sending. So save yourself a lot of grief and stay off of 14230. Route 66 is off frequency somehow. All right, he's on 14250.50. All right, let me go ahead and log him since he's plus 20. W6H.
Secure Route 66 on the air from New Mexico, W6H, Whiskey 6 Hotel.
Kilo India 5, Whiskey Tango.
Kilo India 5, Whiskey Tango. Second time here on 20 sideband. 59, Bill, New Mexico. Thanks, Whiskey 6 Hotel.
Roger, I got you about 20 over into Texas.
Secure Route 66 on the air from New Mexico, W6H, Whiskey 6 Hotel.
I think he's doing a contest. He didn't care what I was going to say. But it's a contact.